Hi, my name is Linda. I'm owner of Urban Patio Designs here in Campbell River. I've been invited today to this beautiful setting to put together a planter of herbs that you would be able to do at home and to have on your deck or out in the garden and to be able to enjoy all summer long. So I've gone ahead and put in the potting mix already. I've also put in approximately this container of some garden soil. I like to put in, actually I'm going to put a bit more in. I like to put in a bit of garden soil just to help give some structure to the potting mix that we've put in. Potting mix you can get at any of the hardware stores. It's what we should use in planters because it's light, it allows air into the roots, it drains well. So here I've got potting mix into the container. Now this container here is what we call a nursery container. This would be a 5-gallon size, and you know, maybe you don't want to have this on your deck for when you're dining in the evening, but if you're growing herbs and you have it out towards your garden, it's definitely suitable and less expensive to use than glazed ceramic or anything like that. So that's what we're using today, and it's sturdy and it can be used every year, year in, year out. I've chosen oregano, rosemary, mint I've chosen because you can use it in many dishes, as well as it goes great in summertime cocktails. As well, I'm going to put in a couple of edibles into the mixture here. So I've got a very small pepper. It's called Ring of Fire. I'm going to put that in there, and I've also brought some nasturtiums. This variety is called Alaska. It's got some variegated leaves. I don't know if you can see that. Variegated leaves, and you can eat the flowers, but if you're not leaning towards eating the flowers, you can also decorate your salad plates or plates with the flowers, and that's really nice as well. So let's get started. Potting soil's in, potting mix is in, and I am going to make this planter with a centerpiece, and I'm going to use the Ring of Fire. Now the Ring of Fire pepper is a great one to use in your pots. It's well behaved, it grows upright, it doesn't get too large and you know, putting a shade on your other flowers. So this is a great choice, Ring of Fire. 2.5-inch root, and we'll just sit that right in the middle. This is a very hot pepper. Consider that a warning. Rosemary. Rosemary will be great in here for this year, but rosemary can get quite big. It can become a shrub in Mediterranean climates. Maybe not so much here, but definitely it should be put somewhere else, into a larger pot or into the garden next year. Before I put it in, I just want to show you, this is a really nice plant. The roots are starting to circle, what we would call getting to be a bit root bound. But other than that, the roots are a really great size for transplanting. So I'm going to put that behind the Ring of Fire. We'll just refer to it as a Ring of Fire. What the heck is that? There's so many herbs, you know, just to follow along here. The reason why we're doing a planter like this is just to show you that it doesn't have to necessarily be oregano, basil, rosemary, thyme. You can add in some different plants into your herb planter, keeping in mind that herb planters are for the heat and sun. That's what they love. You know, they're a Mediterranean diet. Put it that way. The pepper in the center may require a little bit more water as the summer goes on, Everything else is quite drought tolerant, but when you're watering, and you will have to water the herbs, maybe an extra splash around the pepper. Oregano spreads, forms a nice mound, and so we're going to place the oregano here and our mint over here. Basil is a very popular herb. Everyone loves to grow that. I call it the prima donna of herbs. It can be very temperamental, very fussy. So I suggest putting your basil in a separate pot by itself. That way, if it's torrential rains for 2 or 3 days, you can move it in a little bit, get it out of the heat, get out of the sun, and just baby it along. Some people have better luck at basil than others, but buying a good plant initially will give you a good start on that. The mint is an aggressive plant and not recommended to plant in your garden beds because it will spread. Guaranteed, it will spread. But it's a pretty plant, pretty leaves, it has a really nice scent, and as long as we keep it in the containers, and when you take it out and you want to get rid of it, maybe put it in your garbage bags to take to the compost pile is a good idea, rather than throwing it out in the back in a pile. So we're just going to put this in here. We're making a bit of a triangle design. Everyone has room to grow, get lots of sunshine on it. I like to keep the plants, an inch or two in from the side, so that the roots there can also grow. Oh, I can smell this. It smells beautiful. So there we have it. You see that growing there. We need to add a bit of soil. Okay, and lastly, this is going to be very pretty because you're going to have all green, and then you will get some color with the nasturtiums. These ones are orange and yellow, so very nice. Nasturtiums, you can cut back. If they start to get too leggy, you can cut them back. Just keep them in control if you can. They tend to grow quite well. So I'm going to open this up, see what we have for a root base. Something like this, I would not, there's 4 plants in here, something like this I would not break into 4. Just because I can tell and I can see that it's pretty flimsy, and dividing the plants is going to be hard on it. So I'll just bring it down the center, gently, put that back, and plant this up at the front. Nasturtiums can collect aphids, so that is actually a good thing if we have aphids going to one spot. If you do get aphids on here, taking a gentle spray with the hose, holding them out like that and spraying them off will help keep the aphids off. These are all companion type plants. Nasturtiums, the oreganos are good for having close to your cucumbers, brassicas, cabbages. So keep that in mind if you don't have room to do a planter of herbs, that you could get some oregano and just squeeze it into the cabbage plants, or into, let's see, I can't remember, into cucumbers. Cucumbers is another one that it will help companion, keep the aphids off of that. Also, oregano is great with tomato plants as well. Great companion for tomato plants, helping keep the white fly. Same as nasturtiums, keeping the white fly down. So this doesn't. This is pretty. It doesn't, it's not packed in there. There's lots of room for these plants to grow. Not like a flowering annual pot where you want to have everything growing together and really fill out. These plants have some room to grow and have a lot of air around them and show their thing. Let's just turn it a bit there. And you can see. Might take something like this just to make it look a bit nicer. Take this one off, get your secateurs, take that off, take that off, take that broken one out of there. And there you go. Sit it in the sun, lots of sun and heat. Don't forget to water, and you can enjoy bringing in some herbs tonight. Thanks.